someone disputed a charge directly with their payment institution and they're requesting, a refund of $44.99. Anyone else just completely over summer slowdown? Just me?
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body trimmings for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller, which means I actually have a full-time job. I am a high school choir teacher, but when I can, so especially in the summertime, I like to sell clothing online. Typically used clothing, but clothing for all the peoples, for men, women, children. I like to do that on a variety of different reselling platforms like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Citizen, Facebook Marketplace, and it's a really great way to make some extra income because teachers make diddly squat. So that being said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about a week of sales from the summer, specifically May 30th through June 5th. I'm slowly getting caught up, people. I promise. Like one day you're going to be like, oh my gosh, she's talking about sales from last week. We're still not there, but we're getting there. And I don't know, there is this phenomenon in the reselling world called summer slowdown. And typically the idea is that resellers, depending on what it is that you're reselling, but especially like clothing resellers, just don't sell as much during the summer. And there are a lot of theories as to why that I'm not going to get into, but I am just here to say that I'm done. I hate it. It's rough. It's rough times out there. I am trying a few different things to try to get around that traditional summer slowdown on various reselling platforms. The main thing that I'm trying is a new reselling platform, but it's a very different format called Whatnot, and it is a site where people like myself who are selling things go live and show you the product that we're selling and people can bid. So if you're only comfortable bidding up to $5 on something, you can just bid up to $5 on something, and it just goes until the time allotted is over. It's a really fun, interactive way to buy stuff. So I've really been enjoying it and just, getting to know people. If you want to check it out either as a buyer or a seller, there are different links for both instances and I'll have them both down below. I'm Becky Park over there, so make sure to give me a follow and, check out any of my shows that I have. But I think it's a really good time, and I think it'll be a good way during the summer to kind of supplement the fact that summer slowdown sucks and my numbers are not where I want them to be. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But in the traditional reselling sense of, taking pictures, listing things online, these are the things that sold for me this particular week that we're going to be talking about. So on May 30th, which was a Monday, and I believe this was Memorial Day, yes? So on this Memorial Day, on eBay, I had 3 sales. The first one was pretty good. It was by this brand called John Mark. I've never heard of this brand before, but I went to a pop-up consignment sale. It is my favorite place to source all year. This pop-up consignment sale comes to town twice a year, and I find my best stuff there. Sometimes I have to pay up for some things, but a lot of times because people are pricing things themselves, they don't know how they should price something, so you get some really good deals. This, I've never heard of the brand, but I just thought it was beautiful. And it was made of 100% linen, but it was this white floral embroidered top in a size medium. Florals just everywhere. It was in pristine condition. I did look up comps while at the sale, and they seem to be, in that like $35 to $45 region. So I went ahead and took a shot on this. I listed it for $39.99. It sold for my full asking price within, like a week or two of being listed. I had $9 into that piece because that was my average cost of goods for that particular day at that pop-up consignment sale. So I made a profit of $26.30 on this. Definitely, if you find something and you don't know the brand, you're not familiar with the brand at all, but it looks like a quality piece and it stands out to you, take the time to look up the comp. So now I learned a new brand. I don't know that all John Mark is worth picking up, but in this instance it was. And I made some good money on this piece. The next item to sell was this pair of FootJoy men's contour casual spikeless taupe brown golf shoes in a men's size 10.5. FootJoy, I have heard, is a great golf brand. I don't know from firsthand experience because I do not golf. I don't know that I've ever done it in real life. I've done like mini golf, but that's not the real thing. But I've heard through the grapevine that FootJoy is a great brand. I actually found these at the bins. They were kind of beat up, but because they were FootJoy, I was like, I'll see what happens. They have been listed for a while. It's been I don't know, close to half a year, I would say at this point. But they sold for $27.99, and I only had $1.66 into them because that was my average cost of goods for that day of being at the bins. So I made a profit of $24.44. I will take it. The next thing to sell was another golf piece. It was this Lady Hagen tan golf skirt in a women's size medium. This one sold for $12 on eBay. I had $3.92 into that piece, so I made a profit of $9.86. But it was not listed for very long, and it goes to show that golf stuff is selling so well right now. So even if it's not necessarily by super desirable, like top golf brands, if you list it, it will probably sell, and you can make, a quick $8 here, $10 here. I like making $8 and $10. I can find something to do with that money. And then on May 31st, which was a Tuesday, on Poshmark, I had a pretty great sale. It was something that I was very excited to move out. It was this Lovers and Friends Epiphany Floral Romper in a size extra small. This, I believe, I purchased doing like Poshmark arbitrage. So someone was running a pretty good sale on Poshmark. I bought a bundle off of them. My average cost of goods for each item in that bundle, when you include shipping as well, came out to $11.58. I don't find Lovers and Friends or like Revolve brands in general very often in my area, which is one of the reasons why I picked it up. I also picked it up because it was an extra small, which is my size, and I was like, maybe I'll wear it. But I feel like, like the rompers oftentimes are so short that your booty's hanging out, and I'm not really about that booty hanging out life. So I went ahead and listed it. It sold after, I want to say, a year of being listed for $42, so I did make a profit of $20.30. I do think that rompers are something that I tend to sit on for kind of a while, so I don't necessarily recommend paying up for rompers. I don't know, there's such a small percentage of people who wear them. I feel like everyone likes the idea of them, but like for me personally, I don't necessarily like how I look in them. I think they're really cute. I don't know. So because of that, I think they're kind of a hard sell and not something that I pick up all the time. Another golf thing sold, this time on Poshmark. It was this PGA Tour Airflux purple short sleeve golf polo shirt in a men's size extra large. This sold for $13. I had $1.02 into it from a local reseller buyout, so I made a profit of $9.03. PGA Tour, is that a great golf brand? I don't think so, but golf stuff is selling, so list it. I actually came out with a video not too long ago about men's bread and butter brands and styles, and one of the styles or like genres or niches that I talked about within the umbrella of men's clothing is golf. Golf stuff is selling so well. So if you have it, list it. And then on eBay, I sold this Eileen Fisher putty colored short sleeve 100% silk t-shirt in a women's size medium petite. This I picked up at that pop-up consignment sale that I talked about for $11.16. That was my average cost of goods that day. There's no way that this particular shirt I actually paid that much for. This was definitely one of the, lower cost items that I bought that day, but it sold for $27.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. I probably had it listed at like $29.99. So I still made a profit of $12.46. I typically do not pick up just like basic Eileen Fisher, but the only reason I picked this up is because it was 100% silk, and it was great for like a minimalist wardrobe. It's just like a great capsule wardrobe piece. Otherwise, I honestly would have left it behind if it were just like a regular Eileen Fisher like cotton t-shirt or something like that. On Wednesday, which was June 1st, I sold another piece from the pop-up consignment sale, and it was this Zia. Is that the right way to say it? I feel like that's what people have said in the comments. Zia Red Everywhere, that's like the style name, joggers pants in a size medium. These sold for $35, which is like a little, it's like on the lower end of comps for this particular pair of pants, but there were a couple flaws on these, I remember. Maybe like a few like pulls or spots on the back of the pants. Again, $11.16 into these as my average cost of goods, which probably is around what I did pay specifically for these pants. So my profit on these pants, once you factor in Poshmark's 20% fees and my cost of goods, was $16.84. Zia is such a great brand to pick up. It's an activewear brand. It is one of those brands that people sell themselves. Like there's not like a Zia store that you can go to, but there are Zia sellers, Zia brand ambassadors. I don't know what they're called, but they do like Zia parties in their home or online. But unlike LuLaRoe, which was another example of this business model, Zia is actually pretty high quality when it comes to activewear, and their stuff retails for a ton. So if you can score these pieces, typically you can get a pretty good return on them, and that's what happened here. The next thing to sell was a bundle of 2 men's shorts. The first one being this pair of Reel Legends, Reel spelled like fishing reel, like R-E-E-L, because I think they're fishing gear. It was Reel Legends Performance Gear Fishing elastic waist cargo shorts in a men's size 34. I had $1.02 into those because they were part of a local reseller buyout that I did, and my average cost of goods per item was $1.02. The next pair of shorts was by the North Face, and they were khaki tan chino shorts in a size extra large. So very similar looking, but these I had $3.92 into because they were part of a wholesale pallet that I purchased from a reseller. So for the 2 items, I believe they sent me an offer of $35, which I very happily accepted. I had $4.94 into both pieces, and so I made a profit of $20.38. On eBay, I sold this Incredible by Victoria's Secret's sports bra in like a black and white colorway. It was in a size 34 triple D. That sold for $18. It was part of the wholesale pallet that I purchased, and so I had $3.92 into that. That was my average cost of goods per sellable item, so I made a profit of $11.17. I personally do not have that much luck selling Victoria's Secret, selling pink. I don't know, I feel like that trend or that fad has died down quite a bit. Let me know what your experience is with those brands, but I personally don't pick them up anymore out of my own accord, just because I have a hard time moving them for a decent amount. On June 2nd, which was Thursday, I had one Poshmark sale, and it was this pair of Dansko and metallic leather slip-on shoes in a European size 39. I thought that for the typical Dansko clog, I thought these were beautiful. They were in this like silvery metallic color, but they looked like, you know, it had very fine threading. I don't know how to explain it. I thought the exterior was really beautiful. I thought that they were in really great condition. I thought these were a score. And I thought that, you know, 2-3 years ago when I picked these up. I've had these for so long, and I don't understand why. Maybe I had them priced too high. I don't know. But they finally sold on Poshmark for $38. I had about $5 into them. I made a profit of $25.40. And man, I had those for so long, but I'm very happy to have finally moved them. On eBay, I sold this Matilda Jane floral ruffle long sleeve rash guard in a youth size 8. This sold for $15. It was promoted at 3%. It was something that I had purchased on Kitizen for my daughter, and I don't know that she wore it very often. I think maybe she wore it once or twice last summer, but it wasn't something that she was going to wear this summer, so we sold it and made a profit of $11.85. She took the pictures of that for me. She's been taking pictures of things that she's outgrown so that she can earn a little income. We don't really do like chores or allowance or anything like that, but this is a way for her to kind of earn some money to do with it what she wants. Matilda Jane is a great children's brand, and on top of that, man, when I went to Hawaii, I realized the power of a good rash guard. I actually got super burnt the first time that we went to the beach in Hawaii because I just did not reapply sunscreen as often as I should have. I got really burnt on my legs, but even like my arms, and I mean, they didn't necessarily get burnt, but they just got really tan too fast. And then my daughter, like we were at the beach another time and she didn't wear her rash guard just once, and she got a little burn like on her back because there was like a little cutout in her swimsuit. I felt so bad. I don't know like why I'm so bad at remembering to reapply, and I feel like now that we've gone through that experience, we're never going to forget, hopefully, because it's awful to burn. But rash guards are so helpful when you know you're going to be out in the sun for a while, or even just to like wear if you're going outside. You know, the skin is the largest organ on our bodies, and we have to protect it. Like, we have to slather on the sunblock. We have to just make sure that we're being careful, not being in the sun too much. You just have to really take care of yourself, and a rash guard is one of the best ways to do that. So while we were in Hawaii, I feel like I was always on the hunt for a good rash guard. We got one for my husband because he burned, and they're pretty expensive. So if you have rash guards, if you are able to find them for super cheap, I would definitely list them because people who know what's up are looking for these online because they're smarter than I am. And the person who bought this, clearly smarter than I am, and they got a really cute rash guard for their kid for a good price. That was a really long way, a very long-winded way of saying, take care of your skin. Don't get burnt. Don't be like me. The next thing to sell was over on Facebook Marketplace. It was this Field and Stream vented button-down collared fishing t-shirt. It was not a t-shirt. It was just like a regular shirt, button-down shirt in a men's size 2XL. I don't know if I've ever sold Field and Stream before, but I picked this up at the bins just on a whim because, I've had experience with fishing stuff and it can do really well. This particular piece only sold for $10 on Facebook Marketplace. Someone was like, hey, will you take 10 for this? And I was like, yeah, because I have so many of these in my inventory. And as you can tell from how this video is going, sales have been very slow. So I was not going to turn my nose up at a potential sale. So I said yes, and I made my profit of $7.55, and I moved on with my life. I had another Facebook Marketplace sale this week, however, and this was a really good one. It was this Nike running dry fit purple quarter zip pullover in a women's size large. These Nike running pullovers always do really well, and I don't understand why. I feel like they're just so lightweight and not super substantial, but they always sell between $20 to $25. So I did have a sale running on Facebook Marketplace this day. This sold for $21.25. I had $1.02 into it because it was part of that local reseller buyout. So I made a profit of $18.76, which is not too shabby. On Mercari, I had a viewer, and of course I did not write down the name, but I'll put it right here. I had a viewer buy this vintage Cabbage Patch Kids doll with overalls for $8. I made a profit of $6.67. She's so funny. She bought it because I was talking in a video, and I can't even remember which video it is right now. I was talking in a video about selling Squishmallows and how some people have been making so much money selling Squishmallows, but all I had in my house was this really creepy Cabbage Patch doll. And she was like, I'm going to buy this off of you so that it stops haunting you in your dreams. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I got a handful of these Cabbage Patch dolls all at once, all of them vintage, all of them in pretty rough shape. This one was the last one. The other ones have sold for $25 to $35, maybe one for even $50. This one just wanted to live with me for as long as it could, but thank you so much for getting this out of my house because you're right. I'm pretty sure it was getting up at night and just roaming the halls of my home and just being really creepy. So I don't know what you plan on doing with it, but I'm glad that it's in your home now and not mine. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On Friday, which was June 3rd, I sold this pair of Loft Outlet blue lyocell high-rise wide-leg printed pants in a size 4 on Poshmark. These sold for $15. I had picked them up for $1 at a local consignment store when they were doing a big clearance sale, and so I made a profit of $11 on those. I do not typically pick up Loft, but the reason I picked these up is because they were made of lyocell and because they were wide leg, and I thought they were really cute. But typically Loft, and especially Loft Outlet, I leave it behind because there's a lot of Loft online and a lot of it is selling for really, really cheap. The next thing to sell was this Eliza J blue paisley halter neck maxi dress in a size 2. I actually just sold an Eliza J dress the week prior to this in last week's What Sold video, also for $50. And in that video, I also shared how I feel like Eliza J is kind of making a comeback. This dress I had listed for quite some time because I picked it up in Seattle last summer when I went to visit my parents. So it did take, almost a whole year to sell. I had $8.99 into it, and so I made a profit of $31.01. And that is kind of what I have noticed about Eliza J. It will sell for good money, but a lot of times I'm sitting on it for a good amount of time. So take that for what it's worth. On eBay, I sold this Eva Franco black and white pleated dress. It had cap sleeves, a dropped waist, and it was in a size 8. I've had this in my possession for a while. I only paid $5 for it at a local consignment store, but when I got it home, I saw that there were a lot of flaws on it, a lot of marks and things like that. So it sold for $20.22. I think that was a very random offer that came in. I don't know why that's what they offered, but it is. So I made a profit of $11.52. Eva Franco, it's not a brand that I pick up very often. I do see it from time to time, and this is kind of further confirmation that it's probably not a brand that I'm gonna be very quick to pick up in the future either. The next thing to sell was another swimsuit item. It was this T Collection, which is a great kids brand, pink striped swim set, it had bottoms and a top. The bottoms, however, were in a size 8 and the top was in a size 10. So I was like, who's going to buy this? This is such a specific random thing. But it sold very quickly, actually, for $10. And so my daughter made a profit of $8.18 because she was the one that took the pictures. The next thing to sell was this pair of Born red leather strappy slide-on wedge sandals in a size 10. These sold for $22. I believe my mother-in-law gave these to me for free, and so I made a profit of $17.86. I know that Born can do pretty well, like Born, BOC, some of those like brands they're kind of marketed as like comfort brands, usually use leather and stuff like that. I don't know. I personally don't have a lot of good luck with those brands, and so I tend to leave them behind. Let me know what your experience is with Born, BOC, Clarks. Yeah, I tend to sit on them forever. They tend to sell under $20. I don't see what the hoopla is all about, but let me know. Let me know your experiences. Those I did sit on for not that long, maybe like 3 to 4 months. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Saturday, which was June 4th. I only had one sale, and it was over on Mercari, and it was this new with tags cream oversized wide sleeve tunic in a size medium. This sold for $14. I did have $3.92 into it because it was part of a wholesale pallet that I purchased from a reseller, so I made a profit of $7.97. At the beginning of this video, I talked about how I've been selling on a platform called Whatnot, and what I've noticed from being a part of different Whatnot sales as a buyer is that a lot of people are trying to move I do like the aesthetic. I think they make really cute stuff. For whatever reason, it just doesn't sell for very much. This was new with tags. It sold for $14, and that's about, I'm pretty lucky to get that amount for it. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about down in the comments below too. The last day of sales that we'll talk about is Sunday, June 5th. On Poshmark, I had one sale, and I believe this was a closet clear out sale, which means someone liked the item. And I said, hey, I can drop the price of this and you'll get discounted shipping if you buy it within 6 hours. And they were like, okay. So I made the sale. It was by the brand Barzillai. I don't know what that is. I think this was actually a piece from Korea. One of my friends purchased it there and then gave it to me when she was done with it. It was this blue and white striped button-down shirt in a size extra large, but extra large for women. And because it's Korea, it's not a extra large as we know it here in America. So my profit on that was $14.40. I had actually sold that already on eBay once, but it got returned for fit because, again, Korea's sizing is very different from America's, but this time it's stuck, so very happy about that. On eBay, I sold this J. Crew Factory blue floral short sleeve sheath dress in a size 00. That's a hard size to sell. This sold for $14.90. That was an offer that I had sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%, and I had 80 cents into that item because it was something that I purchased 2 years ago at a local consignment store when they let me shop in their storage unit, and I just shopped in bulk. Like, I was the only one in there because it was during the height of, the stay-at-home orders during COVID, and so I was shopping by myself, just stuffing inventory into these big black garbage bags. It was like an amazing shopping experience. The circumstances sucked, obviously, with it being COVID, but being able to shop like that by myself and just like ripping open these boxes and bags and having all that inventory to myself, that was pretty cool. And I was just buying anything that could make me any sort of money because I didn't know when the next time I'd be able to go in a thrift store was. But like I said, I had 80 cents into it. I made a profit of $10.68. The next thing to sell was this J. Jill red polo short sleeve button-up collar dress in a size medium. J. Jill is definitely a brand that people tend to sleep on. I slept on it for a very long time. I don't pick up all J. Jill, but stuff like this, I'm learning it'll sell for a decent amount. This sold for $24.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%. I picked it up for $1 at a local consignment store, so I made a profit of $19.24. Yes, please. The next thing to sell was actually a result of a haul video that I did. I had a friend of mine give me just a ton of stuff because him and his family moved to the suburbs of Chicago, and so he gave me boxes and boxes of clothing that he no longer wore. He didn't want to take it to Chicago with him, and so I was doing a haul of all of, their stuff, and someone saw this particular bag. It was by Banana Republic, just like a very nice men's messenger bag. Definitely new without tags, I realized once I was taking pictures of it and prepping it for this listing for a viewer, but she reached out and she was like, I really want this bag, can you list it on eBay today? And I was like, absolutely. So I think I just took one picture. We landed on $34.99 with them paying for shipping. Easy peasy. If only it really was that easy. As you can see at the bottom of this transaction, there's a note from eBay saying that we removed this listing from the site. For more information and next steps, go to your messages. I got a message. I got like 3 messages actually from eBay, probably a week or 2 after this bag had been shipped out. As you can see, I got positive feedback on it, but I got a few messages from eBay. One saying we canceled a sale for your security. Another one saying that there was account security communication partner warning. And then finally one saying that there had been a payment dispute filed. So basically what they were saying was that I recently contacted or received messages from blank, which is a username, through eBay's messaging system, and that person was found to have been accessed by an unauthorized third party who may have used the account in an attempt to defraud other members. After I got this message, I got a message saying that a payment dispute had been filed, basically saying that someone disputed a charge directly with their payment institution and they're requesting, a refund of $44.99. So either this person who reached out to me after watching the video, either their account at some point, perhaps after the transaction went through, their account got hacked, or the person who reached out to me about buying this bag from me was using a card that was not theirs, and once the person found out, they started canceling all of the transactions that they could. I don't know what happened, but what really irks me about this situation is that the first message I got from eBay was one saying that they canceled a sale for my security. But what's irritating about it is in the email, they're like, so make sure that you don't ship this out. And if you can, if you already did ship it, then contact your carrier and see if they can hold it and not ship it out for you. But it was like a week after I had already shipped this item out. So obviously none of these things are helpful. And they were taking the funds that had made their way into my account from me because of the payment stoppage issue. Let me know if you've dealt with this before. I definitely probably just need to call eBay and talk to them in person about what's going on because this is very, very frustrating. But that sale didn't actually go through the way that I had thought it did. If you ever see anything in a haul video of mine that you would like to purchase, typically I'll work out like direct deals with people. Like, we'll go through PayPal or we'll go through Venmo. This person was just much more comfortable going through eBay, which is totally fine, and so I listed it on eBay really quickly. The way that it worked with my friend is I'm paying him for his inventory. So I'm saying that after I pay him, after eBay's fees, I'm making a profit of $19.45. The next thing to sell is another thing that was given to me for free, but this item was not as great. My sister-in-law gave me this pair of pink Victoria's Secrets orange cropped sweatpants in a size small. These are from like a billion years ago. I don't know, like these are old sweatpants, but they sold for $4.99. I had them out to auction. I got one bid, and I accidentally charged way too much for shipping, so I ended up making a profit of $5.55. Sometimes that happens. And then I had one more direct sale this day. It was a great direct sale. I was just showing pictures of things that I was getting ready to list. I just shared a picture of this particular pair of boots because I was getting ready to list them and I just thought that they were so cool. I had picked them up at a Goodwill maybe a few weeks prior. They were this pair of boots that was a collaboration between Ariat, I still don't know how to say it, and Pendleton. They were like ankle cowboy boots with a really cool kind of southwestern print due to the Pendleton collaboration piece of it in a women's size 10B. So I posted a picture and I was like, aren't these so cool? Within minutes, I had so many people reaching out and they're like, what size are they? Can I buy them off of you? Blah, 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 blah. So I didn't even get to listing them before I sold them. I probably could have sold them for a little bit more had I actually listed them, but then I would have had to go through the process of listing them, cross-listing them, all that kind of stuff. And I love the idea of being able to pass on a good deal to, a follower or a viewer like you. So I sold them to someone on Instagram for $50. I did have $19.99 into them. That's how much I paid for them at the thrift store because I could tell that they were something special. And so I made a profit of $21.19, which again, maybe I could have made a lot more on, but I didn't even have to go through the trouble of listing them. I didn't have to pay for any fees. On Poshmark, I would have had to pay 20% fees. And I got to pass them along to someone in this community, which I think is really cool. So if you're watching, I hope that you love those boots and are getting a lot of use out of them. I think that people were saying this was a collaboration that they did. Maybe it was last year or something like that. So it's a pretty recent piece. It was really cool. Comps are pretty great on them, so if you find this collaboration between Ariat and Pendleton, definitely consider picking it up. All right, those were my sales for the week, so now let's talk numbers. On Poshmark, I sold 9 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $246. Once you factor in Poshmark's fees, I don't think I did any discounted shipping this week. Yeah, I didn't. So my total drops to $192.05 after Poshmark's 20% fees. My cost of goods for those 9 items was $43.69, and so my net profit from Poshmark was $148.36. This particular week, just like last week, I actually sold more and made more money on eBay. So, that's part of the reason why I always preach the gospel of cross-listing so often, is because I don't know, different platforms will go through weird quirks from time to time. And if one platform is just not performing well for you for whatever reason, if you are cross-listing to a variety of other platforms, then your week is not going to go to poop just because that one platform is not doing well, because you've got items on other platforms too. So that's why I always talk about cross-listing. That's why on my What Sold videos, you're always going to hear about sales on a number of platforms. And the way that I cross-list is by using a cross-listing software called List Perfectly. It not only helps me cross-list to a bunch of different platforms, however, it's also how I keep track of my inventory. It's what I use to keep track of my sales analytics for all of my various reselling platforms. It is a lifesaver. So if you want to try out List Perfectly for yourself, I do have a coupon code so that you can save 30% off of your first month. It's Becky Park. And if you have any questions about List Perfectly, let me know. I'll also link a List Perfectly playlist that I have of a bunch of tutorials when it comes to List Perfectly. I just show you exactly how I use it. It is a great tool that at this point I could not live without. So on eBay, I sold 13 items for a gross sales amount of $272.88. Once you factor in eBay's fees, that total drops to $235. I had $46.46 as my cost of goods, and so my net profit on eBay was $188.54. On Facebook Marketplace, I sold 2 items, which is a lot for me. A lot of weeks I don't sell anything on Facebook Marketplace, but that was for a gross sales amount of $31.25. That total drops to $28.99 once you factor in Facebook Marketplace's fees, which is really low. I think it's 5%. My cost of goods for those 2 items was $2.68, and so my net profit was $26.31 from Facebook Marketplace. I had one direct sale in the form of those really cool Ariat boots for a gross sales amount of $50. Once you factor in shipping, which surprisingly didn't cost as much as I thought it would, the total dropped to $41.18. I had $19.99 into those boots, and so my net profit was $21.19. I had 2 Mercari sales for a gross sales amount of $22. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $18.56. My cost of goods was $3.92 for those 2 items, and so I made a net profit of $14.64. So in total, I sold 27 items, which was a little better than the previous week, for a gross sales amount of $622.13. Once you factor in shipping and fees, that total drops to $527.67. My cost of goods was $116.74, and so my net profit came out to $399.04, which is kind of sad. So really quickly, let's talk about my May numbers and how I'm doing year to date based on my goals. In the month of May, I made a net profit. So again, this is subtracting my cost of goods. This is subtracting all platform fees. My net profit was $2,022.17, which is not amazing. It's not amazing, but it is what it is. And, you know, I've talked in my May What Sold videos about how May was so rough because at school it was really busy. It's the beginning of summer slowdown. I don't know, it's a lot of different things. So I'm not going to sweat it. And year to date, I have so far earned $12,186.12 as my net profit. I am supposed to have earned $16,666.65 by this point if I want to meet my goal of earning $40,000 of net profit from reselling in the year 2022. So I am behind on my goal by $4,000, like more than $4,000. However, the way that I plan on making up that difference in the summer at least, is through whatnot sales. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but my goal is by the time the school year starts to be on track to meet my goal, and then hope that in the busier and usually more profitable fall months, and sometimes winter can be profitable, I don't know, we'll see, but hoping that in the fall and winter I can actually make my goal of doing like $833 a month from reselling even without whatnot. So we'll see. We're just trying all the things to meet my goal. So yeah, I don't know. May was not a great month for me. My numbers were not where I wanted them to be, but it was due to a lot of circumstances that I couldn't help. I came out with a video not too long ago about how before I went on vacation to Hawaii, I did a lot of things to hopefully keep the momentum of my reselling business moving forward, right? And a lot of you said this was a great video, but can we hear about whether or not these things actually work? So, you know, very soon coming up are the What Sold videos that cover the weeks for when I was in Hawaii, and you'll be able to hear firsthand whether or not those things worked, and whether or not I was able to make sales even, you know, while I was on vacation. So if you haven't subscribed already and that content sounds interesting to you, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this video at all, if you learned anything new, definitely consider hitting that like button as well, because it actually helps out my YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew that. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!